Ragnar arrived in October 2022 and he was really so terrified. We did what we usually do and throw chicken down, but he just backed away, really worried. We decided to introduce our dogs very quickly so that he could see that there were happy dogs that were living in the house with us, and we hoped that would give him a bit more confidence. He immediately sought out the safe space that we'd created for him behind the sofa, and he just kind of went in there and didn't want to come out. Within a couple of days, it became very apparent that he wasn't coming out of his safe space, and he started to saw his bed. So I really had no choice but to pick him up and take him outside, give him a bit of a clean up and try to encourage him to use the garden. But it was all too scary for him and he just wanted to be in that safe space. So we decided that we would put down puppy pads, leave him be and just let him decompress and do what he needed to do in his own time. I started to introduce some simple enrichment stuff with him, like licky mats and scattering little pieces of chicken, and that helped him move around his space. And at night time, we found that he started to come alive once we'd gone to bed. So around midnight, we'd hear some thud, thud, thud and check in on the camera, and we'd see this lovely play type activity from him. He was cautious, but he definitely wanted to play, and it was lovely. Then we started to leave the gate open, and at about 5 weeks he began to explore and try to cross the threshold into the kitchen from his safe space. Lo and behold, the next morning he then actually chose to come out and start to explore the kitchen. We were holding our breath, trying not to scare him, but he did really well. Then, after about 3 months, he eventually went in the garden, and he would hide in the bushes initially or in the sandpit. But then he started to interact a lot more with our dogs and get more playful, and was really starting to enjoy their company. Then he started to go outside more frequently and was trying to interact with toys, but it was quite hard work for him to be brave enough to do that outside. But he did love to play with his toys and shred things, and he would race back and forth once he'd got the confidence to do that. We played a lot of food chase and food catch with our dogs and tried to get him to join in, which he found really hard, trying to eat in the presence of people. We then got a lovely visit from the beautiful Mona, who we'd had in foster, and the two of them seemed to get on really well together. At around a year, I got him to start interacting with toys in my presence, which was a really big thing to get him to do. And at around the same time, we got the elusive strokes. He loved to play sniffing games as part of his enrichment plan. So we had cones in the garden, he snuffled through blankets and other fun bits and pieces. What was really lovely was when he was able to interact with my dad on a visit. He was really wary of people, but this was a very lovely interaction that I enjoyed watching. As his confidence grew, we began to introduce a lead to him, and we started with a really light trailing long line, which freaked him out a bit, but he slowly got used to it. We began to introduced more novelty items into the garden to help build up his confidence and get him ready for seeing things out and about that he wasn't used to. And that was interspersed with these lovely bits of play, which just helped him offload his stressful emotions that were building up from all the new things happening. Then after 18 months, we finally left the house. He went outside the gate into the lane at the side of our house and had a little explore. After this momentous step, we then graduated to going out on the car and going for a little countryside sniff and explore, and he really did so well. We weren't expecting anything of him at all. We weren't even sure if he'd get out of the car, but we were there for about 15 minutes. He then started getting really excited to go for walks, and he began to jump up at us, which he'd never done before. We began to go to secure fields for some off-lead fun, and he loved it. Finally got our first sofa strokes. I was very, very cautious. Up until this point, he'd moved away as soon as my hand had come forward. And then, amazingly, we decided to go on a last-minute holiday to Wales. He'd made such good progress, so we found a camper van and we went and stayed at various campsites on the Pembrokeshire coast. We went to the beach, and he was a really, really good boy, very brave, and he seemed to have a lot of fun. I love here how he digs himself a hole, and then look what he does. He digs and digs and digs, having great fun, and then he lies down in it. He was even brave enough to go and approach all our friends who we were camping with. This was a really big thing for him to go up to a group of people. And whilst we were in our camper home, he finally ate food out of my hand after 22 months. And then suddenly he decided cuddles are just such a lovely thing, and he's now become a real cuddle monster 2 years on. He keeps coming and asking for fuss, and it's just an absolute delight to see. Yes, Mr.